Marcus rushed his feverish daughter to the emergency room, terrified she might not survive the night. When the doctor walked in, he nearly collapsed. She looked exactly like his wife Jennifer, who had died 3 years ago. Same face, same voice, even the same name. But that was impossible, wasn't it? Before watching full story, comment below from where you watching. Also like and subscribe for more stories. Marcus Williams had been a single father for 3 years, ever since his wife Jennifer died in a car accident. His 7-year-old daughter Emma was the center of his world, and he had learned to handle everything from braiding her hair to attending parent-teacher conferences on his own. But tonight, as Emma lay burning with fever in his arms, Marcus felt more helpless than he ever had before. "Daddy, I can't breathe," Emma whispered, her small voice barely audible above the sound of her labored breathing. Marcus checked the thermometer again. 104.2 degrees. Her fever had been climbing all day despite the medicine, and now she was struggling to catch her breath. "We're going to the hospital, sweetheart," Marcus said, wrapping Emma in a blanket and carrying her to his car. The emergency room at St. Mary's Hospital was busy, but as soon as the triage nurse saw Emma's condition, they were rushed into an examination room. Emma's breathing was shallow and rapid, and her lips had a slight blue tinge that terrified Marcus. "The doctor will be right with you," the nurse said, hooking Emma up to monitors that began beeping steadily. Marcus held his daughter's hot hand and tried to stay calm. Emma had been healthy her whole life. The worst thing she'd ever had was a common cold. This sudden illness had come out of nowhere, starting with what seemed like a simple cough that morning. "Mr. Williams?" A voice called from the doorway. Marcus looked up and felt his world stop spinning. Standing in the doorway was Dr. Jennifer Williams, his dead wife. Except that was impossible. Jennifer had been buried 3 years ago. Marcus had been at her funeral. He had watched them lower her coffin into the ground. But there she was, wearing a white coat with a stethoscope around her neck, looking exactly as she had the day she died. Same auburn hair, same green eyes, same face that Marcus had kissed goodbye 1,000 times. "I'm sorry," the woman said, noticing Marcus's shocked expression. "I'm Dr. Jennifer Williams. I'll be taking care of Emma tonight." Marcus couldn't speak. He stared at the woman who looked exactly like his dead wife, trying to make sense of what he was seeing. The doctor moved toward Emma's bedside, her attention focused entirely on the sick child. "Hello, Emma. I'm Dr. Williams. I'm here to help you feel better." Emma looked up at the doctor with fevered eyes. "You have the same name as my mommy," she whispered. The doctor paused, her hand frozen halfway to Emma's forehead. She looked from Emma to Marcus, something flickering in her green eyes. "Your mommy's name was Jennifer Williams?" the doctor asked softly. Emma nodded weakly. "She died when I was little. Daddy says she's an angel now." Marcus watched the doctor's face go pale. She stared at Emma for a long moment, then looked at Marcus with an expression he couldn't read. "I need to examine Emma now," Dr. Williams said, her voice slightly shaky. "Could you step outside for a moment?" "No," Marcus said firmly, finding his voice. "I'm not leaving my daughter." "Of course," the doctor said quickly. I need to focus on her treatment." For the next hour, Dr. Williams worked with incredible skill and efficiency. She ordered chest x-rays, blood tests, and breathing treatments. She was clearly an excellent pediatrician, and Emma responded well to her care. But Marcus couldn't stop staring at her. Every gesture, every expression, every inflection in her voice was exactly like Jennifer's. It was impossible but undeniable. As Emma's breathing improved and her fever began to drop, Dr. Williams finally had a chance to talk to Marcus privately. "She has pneumonia," the doctor explained. "But we caught it early and she's responding well to antibiotics. She'll need to stay overnight for observation, but she should be fine." "Thank you," Marcus managed to say. Dr. Williams looked at him carefully. "Mr. Williams, I need to ask you something. What was your wife's full name?" "Jennifer Marie Williams," Marcus said. "Why?" The doctor's hands trembled slightly. "What was her maiden name?" "Stevens. Jennifer Marie Stevens before we married." Marcus felt a chill run down his spine. "Why are you asking me this?" Dr. Williams was quiet for a long moment. "Because," she said softly, "my name is Jennifer Marie Stevens." Marcus felt the room spin around him. "That's impossible." "I know it seems impossible," Jennifer said. "But I think I need to tell you something that's going to sound crazy." She led Marcus to a quiet corner of the hospital corridor, where they could talk without disturbing Emma. 3 years ago, Jennifer began, I was in a terrible car accident. I was clinically dead for 4 minutes before they managed to revive me. When I woke up, I had no memory of my life before the accident. Complete amnesia. Marcus stared at her. You're saying you're my wife? My Jennifer? I don't know, Jennifer said honestly. I've been living as Jennifer Stevens for 3 years, working here at the hospital. I chose pediatrics because something about helping children felt right to me, but I never knew why. But you died, Marcus said. I identified your body. I went to your funeral. What if they made a mistake? Jennifer asked. What if the woman who died had been carrying my ID? What if I was found at a different part of the accident scene with no identification? Marcus's mind raced. The accident had been terrible, a multi-car pileup during a storm. Several people had died and the scene had been chaotic. Bodies had been badly injured. He had only been able to identify Jennifer by a distinctive scar on her hand and her wedding ring. Show me your hands, Marcus said suddenly. Jennifer held out her hands. No scar. No wedding ring mark. Your wife had a scar? Jennifer asked. On her left hand from when she fell off her bike as a child. And a permanent indent from her wedding ring. Jennifer shook her head. I don't have either of those. Marcus felt disappointment and relief at the same time. This woman wasn't his Jennifer. But then why did she look exactly like her? There's something else, Jennifer said quietly. When I saw Emma tonight, when she said her mother's name was Jennifer Williams, I felt something. Like a memory trying to surface. And when I look at you, I feel familiar. Like I know you. This is crazy, Marcus said. I know. But what if it's not? What if I'm not your wife, but I'm someone who was connected to her somehow? A sister you never knew about? A cousin? Marcus thought about Jennifer's family. She had been an only child and her parents had died when she was young. She had no close relatives that Marcus knew of. Jennifer never mentioned having any siblings, Marcus said. Maybe she didn't know either, Jennifer suggested. Maybe we were separated when we were children. Adoption, foster care, there are a lot of reasons why families get split up. They were interrupted by a nurse. Dr. Williams? Emma is asking for her daddy. Marcus and Jennifer returned to Emma's room. The little girl was looking much better. Her fever had broken and her breathing was normal. Daddy? Emma said, reaching for Marcus. Dr. Williams made me feel better. She sure did, sweetheart, Marcus said, hugging his daughter carefully. Emma looked at Jennifer with curious eyes. Dr. Williams, you really do look like the pictures of my mommy. Jennifer knelt down beside Emma's bed. Do I? What did your mommy look like? She had hair like yours and eyes like yours, and Daddy says she was the most beautiful woman in the world, Emma said. Do you have a little girl? No, Jennifer said softly. I don't have any children. Would you like to have a little girl like me? Emma asked innocently. Jennifer's eyes filled with tears. I think I would like that very much. Over the next few days, as Emma recovered from her pneumonia, Marcus found himself thinking constantly about Dr. Jennifer Stevens. He started researching her background, trying to find any connection to his late wife. What he discovered was puzzling. Jennifer Stevens had appeared at the hospital 3 years ago with no past medical records, no references, and no history before her accident. The hospital had hired her anyway because she had somehow retained all her medical knowledge despite her amnesia. Marcus also learned that Jennifer had been found unconscious at a bus stop 20 miles from the site of the multi-car accident where his wife had died. She had been discovered the same night, just hours after the accident. The more Marcus investigated, the more questions arose. If this Jennifer wasn't his wife, why did she look exactly like her? And why had she lost her memory the same night his wife died? A week after Emma's hospitalization, Marcus made a decision. He called Jennifer and asked her to meet him for coffee. I've been thinking about what you said, Marcus began when they met at a small cafe near the hospital. About the possibility that you might be connected to my wife somehow. I've been thinking about it too, Jennifer said. I even went to see a hypnotherapist to try to recover some memories, but nothing came up. I have an idea, Marcus said. What if we tried spending some time together? You, me, and Emma. Maybe being around us would trigger some memories. Jennifer looked uncertain. I don't know if that's a good idea. What if I'm not who you hope I am? What if I just happen to look like your wife by coincidence? I don't want to give you or Emma false hope. And what if you are connected to her somehow? Marcus countered. What if there are answers we can find together? Jennifer was quiet for a long moment. Your daughter is wonderful, she said finally. When I was taking care of her at the hospital, I felt something I've never felt before. Like I was meant to be there, meant to be helping her. Emma likes you too, Marcus said. She's been asking about you every day. All right, Jennifer said. Let's try it. But slowly. And if it becomes too confusing or painful for any of us, we stop. Over the following weeks, Jennifer began spending time with Marcus and Emma. She came to Emma's soccer games, helped with homework, and joined them for Sunday dinners. The strange thing was how natural it all felt. Jennifer seemed to know exactly how Emma liked her sandwiches cut, exactly what stories would make her laugh, exactly how to comfort her when she had nightmares. It's like she's always been part of our family, Emma told Marcus one evening. She knows me really well for someone I just met. Marcus had noticed the same thing. Jennifer's interactions with Emma were so natural, so instinctive, that it was hard to believe they had just met. There were other strange coincidences too. Jennifer's favorite color was blue, the same as his wife's. She loved classical music and hated horror movies just like Jennifer had. She even had the same unconscious habit of tucking her hair behind her ear when she was thinking. But there were differences too. This Jennifer was more cautious, more reserved. She seemed to have built walls around herself that the original Jennifer had never had. The breakthrough came 2 months after they had started spending time together. They were at a park, watching Emma play on the swings, when a song started playing from a nearby radio. It was Moon River, the song Marcus and his wife had danced to at their wedding. Jennifer suddenly went very still. Her eyes became unfocused and she gripped the park bench with white knuckles. Jennifer, Marcus said, concerned. Are you okay? I remember this song, Jennifer whispered. I remember dancing to it. There were white flowers everywhere, and a man in a blue suit was holding me, spinning me around. Marcus felt his heart stop. He had worn a blue suit to their wedding. The decorations had been white roses. What else do you remember? Marcus asked gently. Jennifer closed her eyes, concentrating hard. A church. Old stone church with stained glass windows. And a little girl with dark hair, she was throwing flower petals. Marcus's hands shook. Their wedding had been in St. Patrick's Cathedral, which had beautiful stained glass. Jennifer's young cousin had been their flower girl. Jennifer, Marcus said softly, I think you're starting to remember. Over the next few days, more memories began returning. Fragments at first, the taste of Marcus's coffee, the smell of Emma's baby shampoo, the feeling of being truly happy. But the memories were incomplete and confusing. Jennifer remembered being married, but not to Marcus. She remembered having a child, but the child in her memories looked different from Emma. It's like I'm remembering someone else's life, Jennifer told Marcus. The emotions feel real, but the details don't match. Marcus suggested they see a specialist, a neurologist who worked with amnesia patients. Dr. Peterson examined Jennifer thoroughly and reviewed all her medical records from the accident. This is highly unusual, Dr. Peterson told them. Jennifer's amnesia was caused by severe trauma to the hippocampus, the part of the brain that stores memories. But her case is unique because her procedural memories, things like medical knowledge and basic skills, remained intact. Is it possible for her to recover her memories? Marcus asked. It's possible, Dr. Peterson said. But there's something else I need to tell you. I've been reviewing the records from the night of Jennifer's accident, and I found something interesting. He pulled out a file. There were actually 2 women brought in that night with similar injuries. One was identified as Jennifer Williams and died during surgery. The other was found with no ID and survived, but with severe amnesia. Marcus felt the room spinning. Are you saying they mixed up the identities? It's possible. The accident scene was chaotic, multiple casualties, similar injuries. If the woman who died was carrying Jennifer Williams's ID for some reason, and if our Jennifer was found without any identification, then my wife might actually be alive, Marcus finished. Dr. Peterson nodded. I think we need to do some DNA testing to know for sure. The DNA results took a week to come back. Marcus spent those 7 days in an agony of hope and fear. What if Jennifer really was his wife? What if she wasn't? What would either answer mean for their family? When Dr. Peterson called with the results, Marcus was sitting in his living room with Emma and Jennifer, reading bedtime stories. Marcus, Dr. Peterson said, the DNA results are conclusive. Jennifer is definitely your wife. Marcus dropped the phone. He looked at Jennifer, his Jennifer, who was sitting cross-legged on the floor with Emma in her lap, reading Goodnight Moon, in the exact same voice she had used 3 years ago. Jennifer, Marcus said softly. She looked up at him and suddenly her eyes were different. Clear. Where? Full of recognition. Marcus, she whispered. Oh my God, Marcus. The memories came flooding back all at once. Jennifer remembered everything: their first date, their wedding, Emma's birth, the thousand small moments that made up their life together. Emma looked back and forth between her parents, confused by the sudden tension in the room. Daddy? What's wrong? Jennifer reached out with a trembling hand and touched Emma's face. Emma, sweetheart. I'm your mommy. I'm really your mommy. But Mommy died, Emma said, not understanding. I thought I did too, Jennifer said, tears streaming down her face. But I didn't. I just forgot who I was for a while. But I remember now. I remember you, and I remember Daddy, and I remember how much I love you both. Emma looked at Marcus for confirmation. Daddy? Is Dr. Williams really my mommy? Marcus nodded, unable to speak through his tears. Emma threw herself into Jennifer's arms. Mommy? You came back. The reunion was overwhelming. Jennifer remembered everything: Emma's first steps, her favorite lullabies, the way she liked her hair braided for school. She remembered Marcus's laugh, the way he made his terrible dad jokes, how he liked his coffee in the morning. But she also remembered dying. Or thinking she was dying. The accident had been traumatic, and the 3 years of lost memories had been like living in a fog. I kept having dreams, Jennifer told Marcus that night, after Emma had fallen asleep between them in their bed. Dreams about a life I thought I had imagined. About a husband and a daughter who loved me. I thought they were just fantasies. We grieved for you, Marcus said. Emma and I visited your grave every month. We talked to you, told you about our lives, kept you updated on everything. I'm so sorry, Jennifer whispered. I'm sorry I left you. I'm sorry I missed 3 years of Emma's life. You didn't leave us, Marcus said firmly. You were taken from us. But you're back now. That's all that matters. The next few months were an adjustment for all of them. Jennifer had to relearn how to be a wife and mother after 3 years of independence. Emma had to adjust to suddenly having her mommy back. Marcus had to learn to trust that Jennifer wouldn't disappear again. They went to family therapy to work through the complex emotions surrounding Jennifer's return. Emma, especially, had trouble understanding how her mother could be alive when she had been told she was dead. Sometimes grown-ups make mistakes, Jennifer explained to her daughter. The doctors made a mistake about who I was, and I made the mistake of forgetting you. But I never stopped loving you, even when I couldn't remember you. Jennifer also had to deal with the life she had built as Dr. Jennifer Stevens. She had friends at the hospital, patients who depended on her, a career she had worked hard to build. I want to keep working, she told Marcus. Being a pediatrician feels right to me. I think it's what I was meant to do. Then we'll make it work, Marcus said. We'll figure out how to balance everything. A year after Jennifer's memories returned, the Williams family was stronger than ever. Jennifer continued working at the hospital, but she made sure to be home for dinner every night and to attend all of Emma's important events. Emma had flourished with her mother back in her life. The 8-year-old was more confident, more secure, knowing that her family was complete again. I used to be scared that Daddy would disappear too, Emma confided to Jennifer one day. But now that you're back, I know our family is safe. Marcus had returned to his job as an engineer, but with less stress and more joy than he had felt in years. Having Jennifer back had lifted a weight from his shoulders that he hadn't even realized he'd been carrying. The couple had also become advocates for better patient identification protocols in hospitals, working to ensure that no other family would have to go through what they had experienced. 3 years, Jennifer mused one evening as they sat on their back porch watching Emma play in the yard. 3 years of our lives that we can never get back. But look what we have now, Marcus said, taking her hand. We're grateful for every day. We don't take anything for granted. Maybe that's worth something. I love you, Jennifer said. I loved you even when I couldn't remember you. That's how I knew you were important to me. I love you too, Marcus replied. I never stopped believing that somehow, someday you'd come back to us. Emma ran up to them, grass stains on her knees and joy on her face. Mommy, Daddy, watch this. She did a cartwheel, landing perfectly. That was beautiful, sweetheart, Jennifer said, applauding. As the sun set over their yard, the Williams family sat together, complete again. They had learned that love is stronger than memory, that families can survive anything, and that sometimes the most impossible things are the most beautiful. The sick little girl who had brought them back together was now a healthy, happy child with both parents to love her. The single father who had thought he'd lost everything had gotten back more than he'd ever hoped for. And the doctor who had lost herself had found her way home. It had all started with a trip to the hospital on a scary night when Emma couldn't breathe. But what Marcus found there wasn't just healing for his daughter, it was the return of his greatest love, the completion of his family, and proof that miracles really do happen. Sometimes the people we've lost aren't gone forever. Sometimes they're just waiting in places we never thought to look, ready to come back to us when we need them most.